Hello and welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that bit of footage there. This is the following day, just catching up with the same train on the railway. A little bit of a Parcels train perhaps. So we'll just let it go round the once more, and then I thought we might have a go at double heading it with the green Class 29. So we'll just follow that around the far side of the layout. We'll just see if we can get a bit more elevated. Clattering over the point work there. Just step back a little. Let's see if we can bring that to a nice gentle stop just near those cement wagons. You can hear that wonderful chatter on the motor as we take out the power. A little bit more out. And a dead stop there. So quite a fun looking train. I've got a couple of those vent vans on, and Parcels in blue and grey. A couple of those little sort of Parcels vans, we've seen these before, express Parcels vans, and a maroon Parcels coach there, full Parcels brake I think that we call those. I'll put the model numbers in the top of the screen there, so we'll just have another quick look at the vent. So if a quick look at that vent van and that vent van, so they're two different roofs. One's older than the other, although I think this is the newer one with silver seal wheels. Let's have a quick glance at that. See if we can get down low. If you keep tracking the video, I think that last section of the video I showed you, I kept closing the doors on it because they keep vibrating open. And there's the full Parcels brake in blue and grey with a dark roof. A couple of those cute little Express Parcels, BR Express Parcels vans. There's the other vent, you can see the doors are creeping open on there. It's a nice feature that they open. It can be quite annoying when they keep opening, I suppose. And there's the maroon full Parcels and a couple of Express Parcels on the back. Though I have just been fighting with this one, getting this video together, because I've just changed the wheels out on those, but I have left them on the far side. I put in a really old set because no matter what I did, I couldn't close them up enough. They were any wider, they keep jumping off. Closing them up, there's no adjustment left on them. They just kept leaping off some of the points. So I've just switched those out. So we just need to move that Class 37 in behind the high mech, I think, so we can get the other locomotive out. So let's have a quick glance at the controller here. So we want locomotive number 1, enter. I think we're going to go backwards. I lose track which way they're running. I think that should be backwards. Let's give that a little power. I slowed that down a little bit prematurely as it's coming across the points and lost its power altogether there. So I think if we change points 21, and I need to open number 18. So that's 21, the high mech is sitting there. I need to open 18 to get out onto the 21 close, and 18 open. And then we need to select the other class 29, so it's the green one. So we'll put it on the handheld, so controller 2, locomotive 11, enter. Look, no errors. So there we go. It possibly does take the edge off using the railway, having to key in all of these commands. So I think we want to go forward. Let's keep an eye on that now. Ideally this will run. So we've got it. So there is a great big plastic part there. You can see in the points if you have a look at the insert picture. So let's continue on to the outside line now. There we go. Now I think if we change some points now, so I'll try and move a little bit more slowly, so I can't reach behind me and do these. Perhaps this would have been more practical, done from the other side of the railway. Close, and we want number 5 open. Number 5 open. There we go. So pick up the handheld again, and we'll run around, see if we can get everything in frame. I'm just going to widen the camera a little. There we go. So let's give that a bit of power. We want to go backwards. And around she comes. Of course, I've put that onto completely the wrong line, haven't I? Never mind. 2 lines out here, so let's go back. Concentration. It's very, very warm today. Saturday the 16th of July. Amazing temperatures been experienced across the country today. So let's just close that set of points again if they're still in the memory. There we go. So we change for reverse again. And let's see if we can negotiate the curved point. So we'll just couple that up. There we have it. So let's see if we can assign both of those locomotives to the same controller and see if we can get them to run double together. So double-headed, sorry, was the words I was looking for. So there's the instructions there if you want to just have a quick read through there. So I'm going to go ahead and try and key those in without making a mistake, but I'm going to assign those to the handheld. So we should start with controller 2, and then it's locomotive 4, locomotive 11, enter. So no errors so far. Let's give that a go. Let's see what we get. So keep an eye on both the locomotives there and the handheld. So both running backwards because I'd left that in reverse. Let's see if we can successfully do a circuit of the railway. So I've got the controller out of shot there. I think of the 2 models, the green one is probably a bit more lethargic than the blue one. But double heading with locomotives in the past on the older controller, on the Morley controller, they seem to sort themselves out, the slight mismatch in the motors. It seems to be the case here. They're doing quite well. Slight hesitation on the point work. I think one begins to drag or push the other in that instance. So let's just send that around again. We'll have a go at the incline section, I think. I think if we just stop that there, and then we'll open up the incline section. So I'm just going to pan back around. There we go. So now I need to open up points number 10 and number 2. So we'll give that a go. So 10 open and 2 open. So ideally that should run all the way up and over. Let's tighten up the camera a little bit and see if we can get a slightly tighter view on this. Go in a little bit more. I don't like the zoom control on this gimbal. Prefer to use my finger on the phone, but it makes the phone go funny. So there we go. So let's give that some power now. Slight hesitation there, so it's bound to happen. I haven't used this elevated section for a while. I haven't cleaned the track either, so it's a little bit hesitant. Lots of dust sitting on it, perhaps. It could all do with a good clean now I've got the catenary off. Let's hold that up. Around the back of the station. Now we are going to have to stop and attend to some point work in a moment. There we go. So I think we just need to close number 4. So if you keep an eye on the point, see if I can hold that up in the air. So I do apologise, that's wandering around. And close. And then if we close, actually we'll leave it open, we'll put it back on the elevated section, and then perhaps we'll just pop the other side and have a quick glance at a couple of things. So see if I can step a bit further away and get a different angle on it for you. We had a bit of a hesitation through here before. Not so much this time. There we go. So I'll just stop that just short of the bridge there. Yeah, that's that controller. It's suddenly just gone into that area where it loses so much power all in the one go. So we're back on the inside of the railway. That's where we were before with the controller over there. I had the handheld plugged in. So I've just transferred it over and keyed in the commands to get this pair of locomotives, again running off the handheld rather than these 2 units here. So let's just give that a little bit of power. We'll bring it down onto level ground and bring it around and we'll have a look. So we're in forward. Let's go in a little bit tighter. Lovely creak on the motors, both of them there. That blue one just hesitating a little bit more. See if the doors have begun to come open on that lead vent van there. Not sure whether you would have had vent vans in a parcels train, but we are on my railway. Nice and smoothly down. I think they look quite nice. So we'll just follow that around. See if we can come in above it a little bit more. And let's just bring that to a stop just before points number 1. So that's the big step in that slider switch again. There we go, and I'm going to now unwind myself because, you know, if you weren't looking through a camera while you were using this, you would have passed it from one hand to the other by now. And the same with the Mallard controller, you wouldn't keep turning around without passing the the controls from one hand to another. Still, there we go. Right, let's get that onto the inside line and not on the elevated section. So we need to close up points number 10. So just bear with me for a moment. And number 2. All good so far. So we'll just pop that across the points and then we'll close them afterwards. There's that hesitation coming through there. And there's that big step in the controller again. Let's take that down there. So we'll just seal up the inside line. Where are we? Number 6 straight and number 1 straight. Let's just have a quick look at where the Mallard is. So we want to get the Mallard with these terrific blood and custard coaches, early 60s, late 50s perhaps. Some of them had Mark II couplings. I've got no idea of the exact dates. Some of them had the glued roofs, but I do quite like them. So I think we are all in good shape there. I'm just checking around there. No, number 14, and we will need to open number 4 to make this work. So let's do that. So number 14, main route, and number 4 open. I just need to check 25 actually. I can't remember which direction 25 is. Yeah, no, that does need to change. So I mentioned that before, that without those lever frame switches, it leaves you without really any idea of which way the points are set without visually looking at them, which is why that phase 3 system, which we'll have a glance at in the catalogue in a moment, would have been a great addition. But I think I said before, it's going to be just too many parts that way. I'm really unsure of what I've just done there because I was talking, so I'm going to have to go and have a look. No, it was set correctly. Again, it's the concentration, doing too many things at once, so that really does need to be set that way, which is what I was thinking. Main route, never mind. So let's get the Mallard out now then. So let's put that on this controller. So Mallard is locomotive number 6. Locomotive 6. Enter. And let's just glance at the model. Just swapping hands on the camera there, sorry about the wobble. Perhaps not the best place to stop, so I'm just going to close up points number 4 behind it. And there we go. I think we're set for running all the way around the outside there without any interruptions as far as I can tell. So let's just have a glance at this Parcels. I think in the past when I've shown this, I mentioned that when it came to me, it had some fine scale wheels on it, and I couldn't find them at the time, the last time we showed it, but I've dug them out when I've been digging through things. And they're still on the bogies on the chassis. Let's just whip that off there. So there, that's a set from a CKD model, as far as I can tell, with those screw fit bogies. They've got a little nut in the top. If you have a look in the insert picture there, they are available as a separate item for putting the bogies on. I know you use that little grey plastic bogie rivet I printed before, but this is one that I had well before the 3D printer, and you can see I've got the sort of little screws holding in the coupling on one end there, so it really is a beaten up old thing, this. And I have got a separate bogie that goes on here with a Hornby 080 coupling on here as well, so that makes it a good conversion. But originally when this coach came to me, it had these on it, so this was the chassis on it, and it had these rather rather fine scale. It's getting a bit more light. And at the time when I got this, I had the Super 4 track down, and it just used to leap straight off at the first sort of obstacle or point, shall we say. So it really didn't like the track work at all. It would fall into them. Diamond crossings were a bit of a no-no. So I just swapped that over. The weights sort of fixed in with a sort of plastic fold-over weld there into the chassis. So I've just left that weight alone. I think my coach, as I have it at the moment, doesn't have a weight in. There's lots of them that seem to have their weights missing. So we'll just pop that on the rail. I just thought it'd be interesting to have a look at that. So there we go. I can feel the heat coming off the controller today. It always does run relatively warm. It seems to be a theme with 0.1. But the ambient air temperature today is so warm, and these are noticeably warm when you hold your hand over the top of them. So I mentioned that I've been fighting with one of these. Let's get that off there. So I put in some rather old wheels there. So they must be early or mid 60s pinpoints, and it had these on them. Those are from that grain wagon, which was misbehaving. And these are the ones that were on the Parcels van. They're relatively fine scale. I can't close them up enough. They appear to be too wide. So they just keep leaping off the rails. There's no more adjustment inwards on them. So the rest of those express wagons run really nicely with their wheels in them, but these ones just must be a slightly different fit. I've got another set of old ones out just in case. I had to change one of the others. So again, I'm rambling about bits and pieces. So we'll pop that back on there. That one back on there. There we go. So I've brought the instructions over there because I couldn't remember the string of commands. So we'll just shut that. So we had a look over this. And let's see if we can widen that a little bit. Had a look over this a little while back, and we looked at the range of 0.1 items required to get the indicator system working. So I should have marked the page. We might as well have a glance through here at the time. That's a great action set, that, isn't it? That would be an exploding car, perhaps. Yellow helicopter. And a tank. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a golf ball. Well, it's not a golf ball. It's a polystyrene ball, isn't it, of some sort. Is that for firing on the tank, perhaps? I haven't really come across that before. So I suppose that's safer in terms of kids playing with it and getting things in their eyes with the little rockets from the battle space range. So that's quite a colourful set, isn't it? Clockwork starter set. So we'll just have a quick leaf through here. There's the 0.1 and the basic layout with these track packs. That's quite a nice thing. We've got a bit of glare on the catalogue there, so we'll just run through that. So this is the 83 catalogue. So do we not look at that on the cover there? 29th edition, 1983. The blues are really dark and filled in this print. Is that a Mallard, or is that named something else? I think that's named Mallard. Terrific looking model. Some wonderful looking items in here. Many of these are outside of my collecting range, really. We've got the old Spitfire there. I do have that one. And I've got the Cheshire, which I think is in here as well. There we go, yeah, bottom of the page, saying it and not looking. I don't know whether the B17 is in here or not. Yeah, there's a slightly different liveried one there, look. In BR green instead. So definitely getting bogged down in this. So that's a lovely shot, isn't it? Really quite a nice photograph. So some of these coaches become way more detailed in this era. Really are leaving the old days behind them. I suppose we've started, so we should continue with it now. But yeah, I do have one of those. I think we had that on the railway. I haven't found that as successful as the earlier ones. Some lovely looking freight. These wagons look terrific. Was that Fison's? Those, I can't remember, Prestwin wagons. Press Flow, are they? Press Flow. Excuse me for my lack of memory there. So some rather interesting branding on some of these wagons. Definitely over the time. Another terrific photograph with the crane. It's definitely in yellow there rather than mine in red. So here we go. This is what we were really looking for. The 01 and this indicator board and this system. So it has this unit on the top. And I have just recently got one, but it's not complete. So somebody asked me if I'd like it, and it wasn't very much. And it was not complete. Doesn't have the instructions. So, but it's quite a nice thing to have. Let's see if we can get that out of there. There we go. So that is the unit which would power the display. Sadly, no cables with this. I don't have the cables that go with it. So these are quite unique looking things on the back of here. Let's turn that around and have a look. So there you can see, as that say, track input, light pen. That must be an interesting product that was due to come in the range. I'm not familiar with that. Rail drive, display module, and then power aux, 6.5 DC. Now somebody said that maybe you get better control over your colour light signals from one of these. And I say that the instructions are missing from this. So sadly, there's still a little bit of a mystery exactly how this works to me. And there is this wonderful little flap here that comes up. It looks like something else could be plugged into there. So it's quite an interesting unit. Oh, and it slides down there as well. So maybe there was another accessory to plug into there, but I don't think it showed up in a catalogue. So if I remove all this junk from the top of here that tends to collect up here, let's get that. Bits of catenary that didn't find their way back into the box. I found these things lying around on the railway. You've got to put them somewhere. Whoops. So I believe that unit would have fitted on there like that. That's a rather impressive looking thing. So yeah. So it's inherited, or not inherited, it's gained some sort of display, and would have been quite interesting. But let's have a glance in the catalogue here. It does have the power supply. I don't know whether I can wrestle the power supply out. And I have to admit, I don't know whether it's live or not. I haven't put a plug on it. It probably needs a test before anything. Am I going to be able to get this out one-handed? I think the answer might be no, actually. Let's have a look. One more try. There we go. It's a heavy old thing. There we go. There's the power supply. So what have we got on there? Output 6.5 volts. 10. AC only. I'm having trouble reading across the top of my glasses and the camera at the same time here. I'm too close to one and not close enough to the other. So yeah, very, very heavy, has to be said. That's quite a heavy item, but I've got no idea whether that's in running condition. So to be honest, at the moment, I'm not really encouraged to plug that in and find out. So let's just have a look at the catalogue. So that would have sat on there, and then you have these boards, or a number of them, to make up your display, and then you'll be able to indicate which way the points or the route is set. So it would require a number of these. Let's have a look. So there, you need these LEDs, and you need these display modules. So one of these, the module included with the display panel, can handle 4 pairs of LEDs representing 4 points. So it's going to be quite a few of these items will be needed on top of the ones that come with the units, I imagine. So it's quite a range of little bits and connectors that are needed So the LEDs, the modules, and again these sort of plug boards or display boards to make up the whole system. So there's a really lovely diagram there of how it all goes together. And you see these are unique cables would plug in into the back there, but connecting for future phase, connections for future phase. So referring to the light pen. What was the other thing that was mentioned on the back of there? It's such a short memory, I can't remember now. Rail drive. So we've got light pen and rail drive. So display module. So parts of the range which I don't know anything about. So let's pop there. I thought that was quite a nice thing. I thought we should have a look at it. Seems as I managed to get hold of one. But quite a lot of items required to make that work. We should probably, seems we've looked through the rest of this catalogue, probably just leaf through it a little bit more. And you've got the water tower there, not water tower, water crane, very long running. I think that came along in the 50s originally. I don't think it's changed very much. Let's just have a look. I think that's probably an early one. That's similar to the one we just saw in the catalogue. There's another early one there. Somebody's drilled a handy hole to hold that down onto the railway. You wouldn't want that blowing away. So back to the catalogue. Some more interesting ways of combining your layout with your living room or your bedroom perhaps, to put it out of the way when you're not using it. So great looking pictures. Another item that I've never come across. It's quite a lovely looking thing. Or two items. Is that all the one set? No, it's two different sets. One conveyor set and a tipper set. Lovely bright colours. And some station items. These items, the banding on the edge of the platform has changed over the years. So it appears to be slightly different in both of those, doesn't it? This is the older style, looks more like a Triumph Hornby one, and then a later one there. So definitely getting bogged down here. That was quite a nice item. I haven't come across a complete one of those. Although looking back on it now, perhaps I should have bought the several broken ones I've seen. Maybe get a whole one, but I didn't. And then there's unusual looking buildings. A whole bunch of signals, elevated sections. This is, again, I keep saying terrific photographs. Lovely things. And we've got a dealer stamp on the back here as well. So we've got the hobby shop, 1 Stafford Street, Newport, Shropshire. So look, late arrivals, items late for the collection, making it onto the back cover. So let's pop that away. Let's see if we can get these trains running for a little bit of double running. 2 lines, 1 double-headed, 1 not. So let's see if we can get this one running again. So actually I've forgotten some points already. All of that talking, I've forgotten about points number 11 here. So I'll go sailing off in the wrong direction. There we go. I think we should be safe now, he says. Let's give that a bit of power and see if we can get that to run round. See if that evens out a little. We've got something, didn't like something there, so let's have a look at that. Yeah, that was what was happening earlier. Although I thought I'd solved it by changing the wheels on the end one there. It was the end one that was misbehaving before. So the points are all correct here. Let's send that again and see what we get. If that becomes a problem, I think I'll just take that one off for now. So we've just follow that around. I think we might have had a dirty track moment there where something wasn't happy with something. So this is where we had the problem. Let's see if the wagon behaves itself this time. Yeah, absolutely fine. So I think what we should do is get the Mallard going, and then we can decide which one of these trains we feel most out of control with. So that was on this controller. I'm going to have to flip the camera around the other way again. Let's see if we can step back a little. As they say, look, no hands. Is that Mallard going to race around that Parcels train? I think the next lap around it might make it ahead of it. It's tempting to give it a little bit more power. It's actually dropping behind it. I thought it would go ahead of it. Let's see if it can intervene. But I think that's about it for this time. Thanks again for watching. If you look back next time, we'll see if we can have something else interesting to look at. Goodbye now.